You sit down to explain it like I'm 5, but the words tangle. A simple idea, one you thought you knew, refuses to come out clean. You try again, slower this time, asking yourself why it works at all, then how you'd prove it if pressed. The room goes quiet, your certainty thins, and in that thinness, something alive appears. Real learning. What if the fastest way forward isn't more facts, but deeper understanding? What if mastery begins the moment your mouth opens to teach and nothing convincing comes out? Today is about turning that stuck moment into your advantage, and we'll return to it before we end. Peter Hollins writes practical books on how people learn better and faster. In The Science of Rapid Skill Acquisition, he's not selling shortcuts. He's showing you how to process information so it sticks and becomes usable. The aim is simple. Learn any skill with purpose, clarity, and techniques that actually transfer to real life. That still matters because information is everywhere, but comprehension, the kind you can act on, is rare. This chapter, Deep Comprehension, sits after planning and practicing for a reason. You can schedule perfectly and rehearse daily, but without depth, you plateau. Here we build the core that makes every future rep count more. Depth is what turns knowledge into judgment, speed, and creativity when it matters. The core message is this: don't just collect information, transform it. Move beyond memorizing into understanding you can explain, adapt, and create with. First idea, elaborative interrogation. In plain terms, it's the habit of asking why and how until the idea has to earn its place in your mind. Instead of accepting a statement, you interrogate it. Why is this true? What would make it false? How does it connect with what I already know? Each answer forces your brain to build links, and linked knowledge is knowledge you can use. If you're learning a chord progression, don't just note the shapes. Ask why those intervals resolve the way they do, and how the progression would change if one chord moved. Do this even when it's uncomfortable. The discomfort is the sound of weak understanding getting stronger. Try it now. Pick one fact you know and ask yourself 3 sincere why-how questions about it. Second idea, the Feynman Technique. Teach it simply, not in jargon, not with flourishes. Pretend your listener is bright, but brand new. When your explanation collapses, you've found a gap. Fix the gap, then try again. This is more than performance, it's a diagnostic tool. Teaching forces you to choose what matters, define terms, and create examples that carry meaning. If you can't explain compound interest with formulas, you don't own it yet. If you can explain it with a story about planting seeds and watching them multiply, you're closer. Speak it aloud, or write it as a one-page note to an imaginary beginner. Then refine until it flows. Apply it now. Give yourself 5 minutes to teach today's topic to your voice recorder. Play it back and circle every place you hesitated. Third idea, Bloom's taxonomy. Think of depth as a climb, from remembering toward creating. At the base, you can recall terms. Higher up, you understand and can restate them. Next, you apply them in context. Then you analyze parts and relationships. You evaluate trade-offs. At the top, you create something new. You don't have to live at the peak every day, but you should know where you are on the hill. Studying a programming concept. Don't stop at, I can define it. Push to, I used it in a tiny project. Then, I compared it to an alternative. Then I built a small tool from it. Ask yourself right now, what one step would move you up a level today? Fourth idea. Build your curiosity muscle. Curiosity isn't childish, it's fuel. When you let yourself wonder, you notice edges, odd exceptions, awkward seams, surprising results that reveal how things really work. A curious learner collects questions, not trophies. You don't need perfect motivation, you need a spark. Joy in uncovering a mechanism, the itch of a missing piece, or the social curiosity that asks, how did they get so good? Give that spark a daily workout. Set a tiny ritual, one genuine question per day, explored for 10 honest minutes. Do it today. List one puzzle in your skill that you've ignored and chase it until you find an answer or a better question. Now, weave them together. Start with a short study pass. Immediately, interrogate, why does this step matter? How would it fail? Teach it back in your own words, on paper or out loud, using examples from your life. Check the bloom level you've reached and choose an action that nudges you one rung higher. Apply it in a mini project. Analyze a mistake, decide between two methods, or build a tiny something of your own. Throughout, let curiosity choose your next micro-question. This isn't busy work, it's architecture for understanding. Try the full loop this afternoon on a single sub-skill. 20 focused minutes will do. Notice what this approach replaces. Instead of rereading, you're producing explanations. Instead of hoarding resources, you're testing understanding in the open. Instead of waiting for confidence, you're creating it by making knowledge carry its own weight. That shift, passive to active, collecting to transforming, is the moment learning becomes yours. Choose one topic you've been revisiting and switch to explanation mode for it tonight. If you feel exposed when you try to teach and stumble, good. That's the point. Stumbling marks the boundary between what you think you know and what you truly command. It's a map, not a verdict. Follow it. Where your words fail, your practice should go next. Record one failure to explain and treat it as your next deliberate practice target. Let's recap. Deep comprehension is the multiplier for every other strategy. You create it by interrogating ideas with honest why, how questions until they connect to what you already know. You solidify it by teaching simply and fixing every gap you expose. You measure it by climbing from recall toward creation one rung at a time. And you sustain it by exercising curiosity like a muscle, letting questions pull you deeper instead of skimming the surface. If you do only this, produce explanations, climb one level, chase one real question, you'll feel your learning get heavier, denser, and more usable in the moments that matter. Back to that quiet room where your explanation fell apart. That wasn't failure. It was the door. Walk through it today. Comment. What's one concept you tried to explain in plain language, and where did you get stuck? Then watch next. Tap the video on Chapter 5, Stack Your Skills, so you can take this deeper understanding and multiply its impact across your abilities tonight. Share this with one friend who's learning with you. Hold each other to one simple Teach It Back session before bed.